Hey folks, it's Panda Thug aka Nevermore here. I wanted to talk about Smite's Matchmaking for a bit. In the background, I have a game I played recently on stream that demonstrates what I'm about to discuss. I've sped the game up a bit so the video isn't overly long, and I muted it so you don't hear me raging or all the ensuing saltiness. So why am I here showing you this game? Why are we talking about matchmaking? Well, in the 5.13 show, Hi-Rez announced they were making some changes to how matchmaking works, and while it remains to be seen how their changes will affect your average game, I wanted to shed light on how games are currently handled. In this game, I am partied with Candy Salt, a level 50 player. I am level 107. Now, skill level aside, how someone plays changes game to game. Some games you're unstoppable, in other games you can't lift a finger against the enemy. There are a lot of factors that go into something like that. Comp, state of mind, your team's ability to focus, communicate, coordinate, follow up, or retreat. Were you distracted? Is the enemy tilted? So on and so forth. In this game, our comp was not very good, and I pointed this out on stream. Our solo tank is a Kukulkan, who in my opinion is bad for a solo tank, seeing as how we don't have an all-in comp, but a poke comp that will need protecting from dive, something Kukulkan can't really do. Ganesha and Khepri can do that. Cerberus, Artio, Xing Xin, Ymir, Terra, there are plenty of tanks who can shut down diving comps relatively easily, and Kukulkan isn't one of them. That aside, we have very little reliable CC. If the enemy is ahead, we don't have much in the way to save an out-of-position teammate, or someone simply being dove on. Best we can do is Isis Stun or Medusa ult. That's not much, and it's not effective for on-demand CC. So at this point, we know the enemy team has a very strong front line. They have CC from Baron, Achilles, Sobek, and Thor, and they have the currently overpowered backline of Baron Samdi, backed by Hell. Now at this point in the video, or maybe earlier, you might be wondering, okay, they have a better comp than you in Clash, so what? I feel it's important to look at every aspect of a loss. There's never a single reason you or anyone loses a game. A game is a series of decisions that lead to victory or defeat. The game is like a maze or a labyrinth you try to solve with skill, knowledge, and experience. Matchmaking exists so that every game you play there is a maze or labyrinth that is one that tests your level of skill. Or should be. You ever queue a game solo and just crush? You ever just randomly find yourself dominating the enemy team completely and there's nothing they can do about it? And you wonder to yourself, how did we get here? Matchmaking. Matchmaking has a problem, and that problem is that it sucks. And while every game with multiplayer has its own matchmaking issues, some have found ways to address simple problems like the one we see in this game. Now, maybe they fix it in 5.13, but today we are looking at live matchmaking. This is live matchmaking, folks. This game, we are being invaded. They're rotating for ganks, and we cannot stop them. Worse yet, now that we've caught on to their shit, they're so far ahead, it's very difficult for us to do anything about it. They're snowballing out of control. Now, Smite is prone to snowball games, and since the enemy team has the edge in comp, a big level lead, and a sack full of gold, it's understandable they would be dominating at this point. And it's true, sometimes you have to accept defeat, but I tend to not give up when it comes to gaming. Now a bit ago, I noticed, as someone pointed out in chat, our main tank, the Kukulkan, has purchased an Assassin's Blessing, first item, as tank, in Clash. We also noticed that as Kukulkan, he is not transformed a single time this game. That's strange. You know, matchmaking tends to put you up against people with similar skill level, and they do so with team members of similar skill. It's become painfully clear that this is a new player, and he's somehow ended up on our team. Now, we could have lost this game, even if you cloned me and made my clone tank. But I'll tell you this much, if you did, if it was a clone of me tanking, we'd at least stand a chance. Hi-Rez can gauge a person's skill level, and at no point ever should it be placing someone of my skill level, someone of Candy's skill level, or of the enemy team's skill level against this Kukulkan. And it's not his fault for being new. It's Hi-Rez's fault for queuing him against people he is simply ill-prepared to face. And this here is why we're talking about matchmaking. And it's not a point I can really make until, spoiler alert, the fat lady sings and that defeat screen dawns on the horizon. So let's wait it out. Sometime now, you see the enemy team blink past my Titan just to kill me outside my fountain. They want to be cocky little shits instead of ending the game as they should. I point this out because it's sloppy. It costs them deaths. And if we had the right players and the right composition, it's a point in the game where we could have turned things around. But we had neither the players nor the comp to do that. We simply find ourselves overwhelmed, even though they're making stupid mistakes, like going in one at a time, or tower diving. But you see, my team makes similar mistakes. People lag behind and get picked off, or wander too far away from the team only to meet a well-fed Thor and inevitable death. Even I'm making mistakes and becoming tilted at this point, despite my efforts to stay composed and focus on nothing but victory. I'm not really going to talk about the enemy team BMing us by suiciding our towers, phoenixes, or fountain instead of ending the game. It's a shitty thing to do, and they're scumbags for sure, but that's not what the video is about. If we had stopped separating and getting picked off, maybe we could have won this, but we were tilted, and the new player was too heavy for an enemy team that was this aggressive and this ahead. Frankly, I'm still a little salty. In the lobby, we find out the enemy team was a party of 5. It queued a squad of 5 people against my team of randoms. Now, looking at everyone's player level, we notice the Cullen is level 14. Meanwhile, everyone on the enemy team is level 156 to 160. What are the odds? The enemy team has a full stack of 5 during an EXP weekend, and they're all randomly within 4 levels of each other and seemingly very skilled. Why is Smite queuing a team like that against me and a level 14 Cucullin? This is sickening, high-res. And even if the game had ended as soon as possible, it's not an experience I would have turned the other cheek on. But they had to rub our faces in our defeat. A defeat in part handed to us by you, high-res. Honestly, kind of makes me sick knowing these veteran players were cheering about crushing a team with a new player on it. Now, there's a point I want to make here about gameplay etiquette, but it's one I will save for a later video, as I feel it's worth talking about in full and not glossing over. Suffice it to say, you don't rub the enemy team's face in their defeat. You don't drag out a match longer than you need to. Basically, you don't behave in a way that shows so clearly what a piece of human garbage you really are. It is sportsmanlike conduct. It is human decency. It's class. You know who doesn't display these qualities? Children! Because not being an asshole at every opportunity is something you have to learn, apparently. But I'm getting off topic. I had another defeat recently in Siege to a full party. They didn't BM. They ended it as soon as possible, and they played very well. But it shouldn't be queuing full parties versus non-full parties. It simply isn't fair. And these are fast queues. I'll wait an extra minute or two for a good, fair game, high-res, and I think most people would agree with me. What are the odds that every major loss you've ever had in game was to a full party of people while you were solo queuing? I'm guessing they're pretty good. Sure feels like it anyway. These are my points for this video. Stop queuing non-full parties against full parties, and stop queuing new players or bad players versus vets. So that's the video. I hope to start a real discussion about matchmaking, so let me know what you think about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit it with a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos to come, and if you'd like, you can catch me on Twitch or in-game. Thanks again, folks, and as always, see you in queue.